Luckily, we were all staff like this. Oh, yeah.
Good evening. I would like to call the June 3rd, 2024 Safety Committee meeting to order. It is 6:30 p.m. If you guys could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we can let the record show that all members of the committee are present, Councilwoman Awig, Councilman DeVries, and myself, Chairman Holly Swank. There's also Council President Jason Jacobs present, Councilman Cliff Winkle present, Councilman Bruce Abens present, and Councilman Eric Schaefer present. The mayor is also present, as is the Assistant Clerk of Council, Fijabi Gullum. Before you, you have the Safety Committee meeting minutes of April 17th, 2023. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, those minutes stand approved. So tonight we're here to discuss the following. It's 2024-58, an ordinance amending North Ridgeville Codified Ordinance Section 660.13, smoking in places of public assembly. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Corcoran to get an overview of the legislation.
Thank you. So we have a policy in the city about smoking. We don't have any legislation. So I figured we should introduce that, ban smoking in public spaces, and, you know, with the introduction of marijuana and being legal within the state, adding that to the ordinance as well. You know, these days, I think it's pretty much established that the smell of either tobacco or marijuana is offensive to those around those people, and so it just seemed to be a reasonable thing to introduce and to put into effect. Sorry, that's it.
Thank you, Mayor.
I could keep talking about meaningless stuff, but straightforward.
I did have a question as far as clarification. So it does state that there are to be signs posted,
Yes.
but people cannot smoke within 25 feet of those signs.
Well, 25 feet of those signs. You did mention that, didn't you?
Because I would think if you want to prohibit it on city-owned property, it would be prohibited everywhere.
Yeah. What was that?
It's usually posted in front of the property, outside of the property.
Got you. But if it's in the way it's written with parks and cemeteries and playgrounds, we'd want it to be more than that, wouldn't we? Well, right now we don't allow smoking in the parks at all. So, you know, that is our policy, and I know Kevin Fugers enforces that. So,
Madam Chair,
I would think we would just eliminate the distance and just say no smoking.
6013A does say both, like in these areas and within 20 feet of the sign. I thought it said, I understood it saying both,
Okay,
for what it's worth.
gotcha. Does any other member of the committee have any questions or comments? Any members of City Council?
Yeah, Madam Chair, just piggybacking on that, the way I'm reading this is it says smoking in any form in buildings is prohibited, and then also within 25 feet of smoking, of the no smoking signs in parks and cemeteries and playgrounds. So I think I agree that we would want to eliminate the distance from a sign, right? It should just be anywhere in the playground or cemetery.
Yeah.
Mr. Schaefer, did you have a comment?
If there's an event that is a city event, but it's held on private property, does this cover that?
Can you turn your microphone on? I don't think the mayor heard you.
I didn't.
Would this cover an event run by the city that was held on private property?
I don't know that we've had events.
No,
held.
the section is municipality-owned and operated buildings, playgrounds, and parks. So it'd be on any city property.
So, Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms.
I do have a question. So like, say, this building here, between this building and South Central Park, could you smoke anywhere in between here
No.
and there?
We don't allow smoking on city property at
Okay,
all.
I mean, they'd have to smoke in the street. If
Or the
they-
public sidewalk?
Maybe they could. Don't step off the sidewalk, though.
Would this cover the events such as the Corn Festival? Because that goes down Bainbridge, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, that would be hard to enforce. You know, we're talking about, you know, I think we're really concerned about events and spaces. And, you know, obviously, you know, buildings is simple, but, you know, if you're at the concert in the park, for example, you know, you'd want to have that enforced there. You know, it's not a perfect ordinance. You know, somebody at the Shady Drive, you know, starts smoking. It's, you know, somebody might say something, but as far as enforcement's concerned, that, you know, might be difficult. And as you know, our police department has enough to do than to be chasing people around who are smoking. But this, you know, puts a little bit more teeth in the law that, you know, it can be enforced than what we currently have.
Gotcha. Any other?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr.
just as a clarification, the sidewalk actually is city property. It is part of the property of whatever entity that is. So it's not necessarily private or it's not necessarily public. That sidewalk belongs to the city as well as the tree lawn.
Thank
That
you.
goes for your neighborhoods as well.
So that'd be all along Bainbridge.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr.
a question for the mayor. My concern was like the entrance to a lot of public places. I know in public spaces, smoking is prohibited, but hopefully this will kind of help us. I'm thinking to enforce that. There's a certain grocery store that when I go to, I feel like half the time when I walk in there, I'm walking through a cloud of smoke and people are just standing there smoking. No one wants to experience that. So
Right.
I don't know. Maybe if this gets a little bit of attention, people go, oh, yeah, it is illegal. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, you know, there may be some people that might be upset by this, but, you know, I think these days, you know, when you're talking about bars and restaurants, for example, back in the day, you used to be able to smoke inside there. You used to be able to smoke on airplanes, you know, all that stuff. Now you're just not. So I don't think that this is that much of a surprise that we would do something like this. But to your point, Bruce, in subsection C, it does say excluding dedicated public streets, sidewalks, and tree lawns. So,
I'm just saying, your tree lawn and sidewalk is part of the property.
Does anybody else in the committee have any comments, questions? We considering removing the 25 feet from a sign? Or,
I think we should eliminate the 25 feet from the signs. Because like if you had a sign over in the park there, no smoking, it could be beyond that.
I think you could just take out that whole section after the word and, take out within all the way to posted. And so it would just say, and in parks, cemeteries, and playgrounds within the city.
okay, do I have a motion for,
Gotcha.
I'll make a motion to pass the ordinance back to council. Is that what we do?
well, if we're gonna strike the sentence of the 25 feet by the sign, we have to
Amend.
amend it.
Okay, I'll move to amend the ordinance to remove the 25 feet from the signs.
Second. Are
Alright.
you replacing it with anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay, second.
So it was moved by Awig and seconded by DeVries to remove, can I see that? Is there a section?
Here. Section A.
Section A, and amend it. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. I was a yes, by the way. Okay, since there's no members of the public, there would be no public comment. But does anybody else have any comments or questions?
I have one more comment, Madam Chair.
Yes, Council.
Where are we gonna put no smoking signs? I mean, how many of those are gonna be around, or have you thought about it?
Probably about 18,000. We'll just
That's
pepper
what I
the whole
thought.
parks
People-
with
People
everything.
like signs.
They do love signs.
Well,
I don't know. We'll put them towards, the entrances of spaces probably.
and those
you
will
know.
be made in-house with the service department, correct?
Correct, with our sign making machine.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, at this time, I will entertain a motion to send the amended version back up to City Council.
I'll make that motion to send it back to council, the amended version.
Second.
It was motion made by Awig to send the amended version up to City Council for approval, seconded by DeVries. All in favor say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All opposed? All right, at this time, with no further business, the